Hey, how's it going, guys? Today I wanted to talk about my last keyboard of the year, that being the QK60 from Qwertykeys. And so, doing things a little bit different, I actually have some build footage. So, yeah, let's start off with that. Hello, it's VoiceOver Now here. So I'm putting together the keyboard here with all foams, and I am using Gateron Crystal stabilizers. Unfortunately, the Owlabs ones didn't really cut it for me, and TX stabs are what I wanted but couldn't get them just due to the ongoing Canada Post strike. Unfortunately, it caused a lot of hiccups with this, but it's whatever. I'm going to be using Gateron Smoothies, the regular white ones. And I did have other switches on the way, but they're kind of sitting in limbo right now. So once I do get those switches, they'll get swapped in here and we'll do a sound test then. But in the meantime, we're going to rock these switches. So let's pop these in. And now I'm just assembling the keyboard, dropping everything into the case here. And so then we can move on to some keycaps. All right, now that the keyboard is basically fully built, we need some keycaps. Going to be using Osume's Strawberry Milk with the Korean sub legends. Fun little fact that this actually says strawberry flavored. So when you get strawberry milk in Korea, it actually says strawberry flavored milk. It does taste very artificial, but just a fun little fact. The build process of this keyboard was pretty standard fare for a gasket mount keyboard. It has a daughter board with a connector to the main PCB, and you have gaskets on the plate. In this case, we have little gasket socks rather than full-on sleeves or adhesive foam, but it's still nothing unique. We have seen these kind of things in previous boards. However, I think this keyboard's strong suit is in its customization. If you actually go to the QK60 product page, you can see a bunch of different customization options. So you can pick the layout. I have the full WinKey layout here, but you can go WinKeyless and HHKB. You get options for the top case, whether it be a what they call clear acrylic, but it is a frosted acrylic, or a smoky black frosted acrylic instead. You get options of the bottom case. So in my situation, I have gone with the E-Cream as well as the weight. In here, I have the mirror mocha mirror weight, the shiny brown one. So you do get a lot of customization options. Oh, also before I forget, also plate options. I have the palm plate in here, but they pretty much have any common plate material except for like brass or like certain metals. I believe the only metal plate they have is aluminum, but otherwise in terms of like plastics and stuff, they have basically anything you would want. Another unique point of this keyboard is going to be its layout. So here I have it almost as a Zangen layout, which is essentially HHKB with the additional modifiers down here. And because of that, of course, you do have options of split backspace as well as a stepped caps lock. And if you go with the wired only PCB, you also do get option of split spacebar. So I'm really glad to see this layout here because I don't feel like you see this layout supported too often on hot swap 60% PCBs. I haven't looked at one in a while, so maybe that's changed. But either way, I also really like this layout. You also do get the 7U spacebar, forgot to mention that. But yeah, really like the layout, really like the feel of it. Another unique thing about this keyboard is that out of the box, it supports VIAL rather than VIA. And if you don't know what VIAL is, it's actually very similar to VIA, where you have a pretty user-friendly UI, so you can reprogram your keyboard super easily without knowledge of coding or anything like that. However, VIAL wouldn't be a unique point unless if it had some trade-offs with VIA. So VIA, I find, is a bit more user-friendly and simple to use. It's a bit more clean, so it's less overwhelming compared to something like VIAL, in my opinion. But once you get into unique functionality, such as mod tap, it seems like it's a bit of a mixed bag. I personally haven't had issues getting mod tap to work in VIA, but I've seen enough Reddit posts where people have been having issues. I've looked at their key codes, and compared to the QMK documentation, it looks fine. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on there. Whereas in VIAL, you have access to full tap dance functionality, which essentially includes mod tap, as well as some additional tweaks, so you can really tune things if you want. And that, I think, is a big benefit of VIAL. That extra functionality is just there. but I think the program is a bit more cluttered, a little less user-friendly, and can potentially be overwhelming, so there's that aspect of it as well. One potential negative of this board is that because of this lip here between the acrylic and the bottom case, when you pick up the board, you instinctively want to pick it up from that lip. There isn't much gap on the bottom of the board, so you instinctively pick it up from that lip on the acrylic. But I've found that because of the weight of the board, the acrylic layer tends to separate a little bit from the bottom case, and so far that hasn't been an issue, but it does give me a bit of concerns in terms of long-term durability. But that's pretty much going to be my thoughts on this board. Before wrapping things up, let's go over my particular build and of course do a sound test. So keyboard kit wise, I have the WinKey layout here, as you can see, and I have the clear, really lightly frosted acrylic top, the E-Cream bottom case, and the Mocha Mirror Mocha weight. Really, I feel like it's more of an aesthetic piece than a weight piece, but it still looks super cool, so I don't really care. And on this board, I have Osume Strawberry Milk keycaps with the Korean sub-legends on some Gateron Smoothie switches. That's a full palm switch on a full palm plate. Sound-wise, it's pretty much what I expect from a gasket mount board with all foams with a palm switch on a palm plate. Kind of marbly, a little clacky because of the long stem. But yeah, we'll see. I might remove some of the foams later on. Pretty much what I expected out of this board. I'm more of a clacky type of person, so not super my cup of tea, but I still do like it. But we'll see. I might tweak things around a little bit in the future. Overall, for the price, I think this is a good board. I don't think it does a lot unique compared to other gasket mount boards, other than the kind of uncommon layout and the unique look of plastic on top of metal. You also do get a ton of customization options, which is a big plus. One thing I will say about the price though is that it can be slightly misleading depending on where you live. Because for me, who lives in Canada, I had to get it shipped through DHL, which already is expensive. And when it crosses the border, they charge brokerage fees like crazy. And I get that's pretty normal practice for a private shipper, but it still functionally increased the cost of this board by I think about 30 or 40 Canadian dollars. So that was pretty rough. I wasn't really expecting that. I should have, but it's just the reality. And if you live in a country where you have received packages from DHL or UPS and you get charged those fees, if you do purchase this board, there's a good chance you will get charged that as well. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. As always, if you have any questions about this keyboard or anything mentioned in this video, just let me know down in the comments below. I'm pointing this way, but it's really this way. But yeah, just comment down below and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. As always, this is going to be the last video for 2024. I do have a couple videos planned for 2025. So I'll see y'all in the new year and I hope y'all have a happy holiday season. Bye!